Okay, so I'm actually need y'all to watch this intro. Also, I don't have my microphone on me. Like, I'm talking directly to the camera because my microphone broke. So, there's that. Okay, so for those who are new to this channel, if this is your first introduction to the channel, I deeply apologize. For those who've been subscribed for like a few months, maybe a year, and for those who have just been with me since like day one, you might be wondering, didn't I already do a video on this? And if me and you share the same mind, you probably might be wondering where Tragmatic is. Well, at least part two. To answer all of that, so about early last year, Greg Browse's Roof 34, it got taken down. What happened was basically I didn't exactly do proper checks on the video to make sure everything was in order. In hindsight, I thought I had turned everything off that would say that the video wasn't for kids. I apparently didn't answer that question. So, and don't get me wrong, as much as this was like when I was still new to YouTube, so I didn't exactly understand everything, considering what I was talking about, it should have probably been obvious to turn that on. But regardless, wasn't turned on, got taken down. And the thing is, because at the time I didn't exactly have money, my family was going through a lot of shit. Whenever I needed space, I'd just delete everything. So I couldn't even just re upload the video because I had already lost that original file. It was gone. So this is essentially a rereading of the video. As for Tragmatic, what happened was my brain kind of got confused because I thought it would be like a Wimpyverse thing where there'd be choices, and through reading it, I was confused, and then after reading it, like it took me a good while to realize the choices were the ones that were made in the comment section, and whatever choice had the most comments is what he would do. So yeah, there's that. So I have recorded that. So what's gonna happen is either two things. One, as I'm talking to y'all about this, I'm editing the video. So the video will probably be on the channel either tonight or tomorrow, depending on like how much time it takes to edit that. And yeah, that kind of explains all the questioning and the questions and whatnot. Um, but yeah, to reiterate everything, Tragmatic is still being worked on. It should come out tonight or tomorrow at the time you're seeing this. And also, this is a rereading of Greg Browse's Rule 24. The last time I read that book was like the first time I read that book, so I have no idea. Like, it's been 3 years, 4 years. So, like, I have no idea what to expect while rereading this. So, yeah, with everything now said and done, yeah, let's get into the video. Thursday. I've been hearing the 8th graders in my school talk about a show called Hentai recently. I'm pretty sure I've heard Rodrick and his band talk about it once or twice in the past too, but they basically speak another language when they do it. Dude, in this one hentai, the girls badonkers shot lasers when they smooch. So, if there's a lot of smooching, that must mean it's a show with romance. And let me just say, I've never been too crazy about that stuff. Still, I feel a little left out from the big conversation, so I'll just watch the show already. But here's the catch. Since my parents are cheap, they don't pay for subscription services. Whenever I want to watch something, I always have to resort to pirating the shows online. These pirating sites always have a lot of naked ladies in their ads, so I always delete them from my search history in case mom ever looks through my computer. Because of this, I'm always finding myself asking kids like Lionel James for any good pirating sites over and over again, since I always end up forgetting these websites' silly names. I really need to jot these things down from now on. It'll save me the embarrassment. Oh, Lionel, do you know any good websites where I can watch hentai for free? If I knew Lionel's next response would be incredibly loud laughter, I wouldn't have even asked. Because of him, everyone's eyes were on us, and my teacher, Mrs. Craig, didn't look happy. After a few awkward seconds, Mrs. Craig proceeded to ask me and Lionel to tell the entire class what we were talking about. I eyed Lionel and gave him that "you better not snitch" stare, and guess what? For the first time in a million years, Lionel James snitched. Craig wants to know where he could watch porn?
Usually when I ask Lionel, he just tell me the site's name straight away. I have no idea why today was any different. And accusing me of wanting to watch something called porn? It just makes no sense. I'm so ticked off as I write this right now. You should see my face. By the way, I'm in Mrs. Craig's after-school detention waiting for her to scold me. Better yet, Lionel isn't even here. Mrs. James is only mad at me. Hopefully she understands when I tell her that I was looking for hentai, not porn. Yeah, like those two things are fucking different. After waiting for a while, Mrs. Craig finished doing whatever she was doing on her computer and she walked up to me. She was surprisingly calm at first. A little too calm, if I'm being honest. Also, I think she was talking or something, but I didn't even notice. I was too distracted by her weird stare.
Do you now understand what happens in porn?
What happened?
So, you weren't paying me any attention?
I mean, I technically was. Just not at her words. But at this point, she forced me to pay attention by what she did next.
If I won't get your attention this way, I'll need to use my mouth a little more.
Nigga, what the fuck? I'm just remembering how fucked this book is, bruh. Cue that autistic screeching. Will screaming get me your attention, Grey Heffley? Or should I say Rodrick 2.0? Yeah, I said it. You're exactly like him when he was my student. A porn-addicted child. Your brother was the worst of both worlds. He liked porn and rock and roll. You better not turn into him or so help me God, I'll personally take you to the Lord's church to cleanse your soul. All this fucking and unholy stuff you kids do. You're dismissed! So yeah, that happened. So far, everyone's been giving me more questions than answers, and it's pretty frustrating. The fact that she brought up Rodrick gives me a great lead as to where I should go next, though. But I'm not even 100% certain if I want to look up this hentai/porn show anymore, because it's caused me enough trouble already. But then again, adults are scared of everything, so Mrs. Gregg was probably overreacting. Right now, Rowley and I are walking home, and I could hear Mrs. Fredericks overreacting too. Great. You little rascals! Stop burning those socks! It's making the air smell like semen! Oh snap, it's Lionel James and his friends. No wonder Mrs. Fredericks was yelling. I shouldn't have been writing on this thing because I didn't even notice that Rowley was already walking in their direction. Sheesh. I was hoping that I'd be able to avoid Lionel. Hi guys! Wait, Lionel James saw me and he instantly began running towards us. That dude asked me so many things that, frankly, I didn't feel like answering at all. Especially with him. Bro, don't be like that. I just thought that your question was funny. Rowley wasn't able to keep his mouth shut and he told Lionel everything. I swear, I was about to give him the worst noogie in existence until Lionel James stopped me with what he said. Damn, bro, that, kinda makes me feel bad. Wait, I'll make it up to you. Hey, Lionel, are you gonna suck that kid off or something? Shut up! Okay, but seriously, have you never heard of Rule 34? Friday. After all this trouble, I finally know where to watch hentai. Oh shit. Actually, not even just hentai, because according to Lionel James, this website contains everything that one could hope for. Images, videos, shows, all about your favorite characters. I'm so excited! Once class ended, I asked Rowley to hang out with me at my place so that we could both spend our Friday evening binging all sorts of shows. I think that Lionel managed to convince him about this whole thing too because he was just as ready as I was. But I think that Rowley had other ideas in mind for what we would watch. Lil Cutie has a new TV show. We should definitely watch it. Once we got home, we both ran directly to my room to where my computer was. I remember Lionel telling me to type in and I did just that. Greg? But Bikini Girl, get out of the site, please. I tried calming Rowley down by explaining how pirating sites always had girls in their ads, but it didn't work, so I had to think fast. You wanted to watch the new Lil Cutie show, right? It's probably here. See? 21 search results. What's a limp dick? I don't know. Suddenly, both Rowley and I had our souls leave our bodies. Lionel never got into the specifics when it came to what type of things these characters would do, and our eyes had paid the price. Most of these drawings had Lil Cutie using his pee-pee on a bunch of girls. It was disgusting. Look, until today I've never realized that this type of thing exists, but I assume this is the sex that I hear older people talking about. Also, no, Cutie was not a kid in most of these images. Weird enough, he wasn't even a boy. Heck, he even had a fur in a worrying amount of them. But there was an exception, sadly. Some artist named Shadman had a strange interest in this fictional child. A very messed up interest. And before I knew it, I was in their profile. Rowley was frantically asking me why I clicked on Shadman's tag, and I swore to him, on my mom's life, that I didn't even move the mouse. My computer must have been glitching or something. It was just scrolling through Shad's gallery, and I couldn't even exit the tab no matter how hard I tried. Oh my god, what's that dog doing to that woman? Oh god! What? Greg, please stop! My computer was frozen and I could hear various footsteps. Then I remembered. Rodrick's band plays on Fridays. Rodrick's band walked into my room and I noticed that Rodrick wasn't with them. Yo, Rodrick, what's with the screaming? This sent me into eagle mode and I began darting my eyes towards every corner of my room, checking for my older brother. I was totally freaking out like Rowley by then. I was honestly expecting Rodrick to lunge at me at any moment. Look up here, Greg. These kids. Rodrick had tied himself to my roof with tape. Are looking at Shadman! Suddenly, a wave of laughter filled the room, and Rodrick's bandmates began walking closer and closer with strange smiles on their dumb faces. I was absolutely destroying the mouse as I tried exiting out, but it was no use. My computer was just totally frozen. Please, no, please, please, Papi Jesus! Rodrick placed himself above my bed with the tape so he had a soft landing. After this, he walked up to me and put his arm out. I'm sorry you had to see that, little brother. All of the loaded diaper gang walked towards me. They weren't laughing anymore. Rowley and I began getting pats on the back for being brave enough to search up the Shadman. They began telling me their sob stories about how Shadman traumatized them when they were younger or something. Yeah, Shadman traumatized me when I was younger too. Ugh. Rodrick then told Rowley to stop crying because he wanted to supposedly clean our eyes with something more classic. I told Rodrick that my computer was acting weird and that it wasn't responding at all. He then went up to my computer and grabbed the mouse. And guess what? The moment that Rodrick got on it, everything went back to normal. Do you really not trust me, Greg? See, it's just that cartoon you watch. ZTV. Nuh-uh. I gave Rowley a tap on the shoulder, and when he saw Jenny, he began to wipe his eyes. I was actually thinking that Rodrick was here to save the day. Well, I was wrong. Wait! Whoa, hey! What are those things? You know, I honestly thought that this nigga, like, I didn't know he was ripping off the tape. The first time I read it, I thought this nigga was zipping down his pants, bro. I'll stop the video! Rodrick was laughing his ass off. He thought he was real funny. Well, I was hoping that Rodrick's friends would snap some sense into him for my sake, but no, he just played another video. That video already starts with the porn, dumbass! The second I saw that, I began running to my room's door. I wasn't gonna have the amazing world of Gumball ruined too. But then I tripped on some cables and junk on the floor, and Rodrick's friends dragged me back. I was kicking and fighting. Rodrick told me to stop moving because he wanted me to become a real man, but I didn't stop. I saw so much. Childhood characters, games, shows. They all became something so corrupted. I picked up a pencil from the cabinet next to me and quickly leapt back. Step away from the computer, Rodrick. He refused and just laughed with his pals. Rodrick said that everyone gets their childhood ruined sooner or later, and that I should actually be thanking him for it. Shut up. I swear I'll be committing a freaking crime with this. Then come at me, kid. Hurting me won't unfuck the robot. Oh, shit. I charged at him and we began fighting and yelling while Rowley and the loaded diaper band watched. I asked Rodrick how could he live with himself, and he responded by telling me that he just accepts the fact that if something exists, that it has porn made of it. Mrs. Craig was right about you. Wait, she told you about the incident? That caught me off guard. Mrs. Craig never told me about an incident, and before I could even ask, we heard a loud bang as my room door swung open. We all looked to our side and my mom was standing there.
Why are you kids yelling?
Damn. I was inaudible as I pointed at Rodrick. I tried saying that he was the one who started it, but gibberish was all that came out. Then when I turned my head towards him, I noticed that he was jumping out my room's window. I'm not kidding, his crew and him were jumping out one after the other. They didn't even turn off the screen. Come on, fools! I noticed something else. Rowley was also gone. From downstairs, I heard the front door open and I got a glimpse of Rowley walking out of my house. He looked as cold as a statue. I was about to yell at him because of his betrayal, but Mom tapped on my shoulder and pointed at my computer screen. Greg? I was trembling like if someone had just shoved some ice cubes up my ass. What's Edswirl? I got confused but also happy after I realized that it wasn't a porn parody, but just that YouTube show. Just that YouTube show? Hey bro, put some respect on Edswirl. My computer seriously had something going on. It was going all over the place on Rule 34, but then minutes later it was on YouTube playing something I rarely watch. But I wasn't going to let the opportunity slide. I was going to use it to defend myself. I told Mom that the screaming wasn't from this house but from the show, and that I just had the volume up too high.
Well, then turn that thing down. I'm tired. I really thought Rodrick was showing you things.
Don't worry about it. Now go take a nap. I'll read a book instead.
I like that idea, Greg.
She shut the door and I heard her steps fade away down the hall. This was my call to action. I darted towards my computer to delete my browser history, but then my computer was alive.
Jackpot! Hi there,
No. I walked away and got on my bed. I didn't feel like dealing with anything anymore. You're not real. I'm not crazy. Bye-bye.
What?
I said, bitch, you're not real. That's right. I went to sleep while a robot girl thing was standing in my room. But I didn't care because I knew it must have just been my mind playing tricks on me. Right? And guess what? When I woke up, my computer was exactly where it should be. I knew it. That damn website really screwed my sanity over. Monday. So, how did you like Rule 34, Greg? I walked up to Lionel and he could tell I was worried. I've never felt that frightened bringing something up. What, was the robot real? He looked at me like if I was crazy. Did you, browse through the robot tag?